Hello class, today I will be teaching about external ear deformity. So this topic is for BSc third year. So let us see what the deformities of the external ears are all about. So any abnormal development or deformity of the ear anatomy, it can cause a range of complications. It can not only hearing complications but many other complications. Uh, from cosmetic issues to hearing and development problems. Okay, so any abnormality or any deformity of the ears, it can not only lead to hearing difficulty, but also leads to developmental problems and also to some cosmetic issues. And estimated 6 to 45% of children are born with such deformity. Okay, so this ear deformity is congenital. Okay, and 6 to 45% of the children, they are born with such congenital ear deformity. Some ear deformities are temporary. If the deformity was caused by an abnormal positioning in the uterus or during birth, it may resolve as the child grows. Okay, so if there's any deformity, because of abnormal positioning of the fetus in the uterus during birth, so this temporary deformity, it will be resolved, and the baby can have normal ears. But other deformities will need medical intervention, either surgical or non-surgical, so that we can correct the ear abnormality. Coming to the etiology, the causes of ear deformity are varied. Most ear deformities are congenital. Okay, so they are occurring from birth, meaning that they are representing from birth. In rare cases, children develop ear deformities from trauma or disease. So because of any trauma or because of any disease condition, the children will also have abnormal ear. But majority of these deformity are because of congenital, that is from the birth. So there are many types of ear deformity. Okay, so one is anotia, microtia, macrotia, accessory auricles, preauricular sinuses, Darwin's tubercles, Wildermuth's ear canal stenosis, oral atresia, ocular deformities, and mandibulofacial dystocia. So these are some of the types of ear deformity. So let us see into each one of these types. So starting with first is anotia. So anotia is a rare congenital deformity which involves the complete absence of the pinna. So we know that pinna is it is present in the external ear or the outermost ear. Okay, so if there's no pinna, okay, then it is known as anotia. Okay, so you can see here the babies, they have no ear pinna. Okay, you can see there is no pinna. In this case, there is no pinna. So anotia is nothing but a congenital deformity which involves complete absence of auricle or pinna. The causes are defect in the gene or taking isotretinoin during pregnancy. So the causes can be any gene errors in the gene, okay, or genetic mutation, or because of the injection isotretinoin which is being taken during pregnancy. The treatment for this anotia is cosmetic reconstruction, so that there will be repair and there will be a new the pinna will be reconstructed. So the treatment of choice is cosmetic reconstruction. Next, coming to the second type is microtia. Micro meaning underdeveloped. Okay, so here in microtia, the pinna will be not properly developed. Okay, not fully developed. So you can see in this picture, the pinna is not fully developed. Okay, it is half is being formed. Okay, here you can see there is no pinna. Okay, so this is called microtia. The treatment is prosthetic ear or ear reconstruction surgery. Now coming to macrotia. Macro meaning too much, okay, and micro meaning less. Okay, so macrotia, it is a congenital ear deformity which is marked by excessive growth of ear. So if there's too much of ear growth, okay, so you can see here the pinna is pinna, the size of the pinna is very is large. Okay, so this is macrotia. The causes are because of genetic disorders, okay, inherited genetic disorders, and the treatment is otoplasty. Okay, so we will perform a reconstruction so that the patient will have normal ears. Next type is accessory auricles. Okay, polyotia is the extreme rare congenital anomaly. Okay, so you can see here, it is defined as an accessory ear that is large enough to resemble an additional pinna. So meaning there is an extra ear, okay, extra growth around the ears. You can see here also there is an extra growth. There are two extra growths here at the center, and here also there are two extra growths. So this extra or an accessory ear, okay, which is large enough to resemble an additional pinna, is called polyotia. Okay, so this is called polyotia. The treatment of choice is surgical excision. So we will remove the excessive growth which is around the pinna. Next type is preauricular sinus. Okay, preauricular sinus is also known as congenital auricular fistula or known as preauricular cyst. So there are three names. Okay, one is congenital auricular fistula, preauricular cyst, or we can call it as preauricular sinus. It is a common word, or it is congenital defect, okay, which is marked by a nodule or a dimple which is located adjacent to the external ear. So it is just located next to the ear. So you can see here this is like a dimple. Okay, so it is like a nodule or a dimple which is present just next to the external ear. So this we call it as preauricular sinus. The treatment of choice, they are systemic antibiotics for infection and surgery to remove the sinus. Next type is Darwin's tubercle. It is a congenital ear deformity which represents as a thickening on the helix of the ear at the junction of the upper and middle third. Okay, so there is a thickness. Here you can see this picture is very clear. Okay, so there is a thickness in the helix of the ear. Okay, here also there is thickness. Okay, so this is also very thick. Okay, the helix part of the ear is very thick, and this is called Darwin's tubercle. And this thickness is present upper and middle third. So the upper region of the ear and the middle portion. Okay, so these are the areas where there will be thickness of the helix. This is called Darwin's tubercle. Next type is called Wildmuth's ear. So this is also a congenital defect where the helix is turned backwards and the anthelix is prominent. Okay, so you can see here that here you can see here the helix is turned backwards and the anthelix is very prominent here. You can see this also. Okay, so the treatment of choice is otoplasty. So we will do the reconstruction surgery method. Next type is ear canal stenosis. Okay, stenosis meaning closed. Okay, so ear canal stenosis, it is a narrowing of the ear canal develops when ear canal fails to develop during the 7th month in the uterus. So what happened is there is no ear canal. So you can see this is fully closed. Okay, there is no hole opening in the ear. So this is because the ear canal is failing to develop during the which month? That is the 7th month in the uterus. It is repaired by widening the canal by canalplasty. Okay, so this is a treatment of choice called canalplasty, where we will try to repair it by widening the canal. We will try to reconstruct by opening this canal. So this is called ear canal stenosis. Next type is oral atresia. It is the absence or incomplete formation of an external ear canal. So you can see here. Okay, so the external canal is not fully developed. So this is called oral atresia. Next type is ossicular deformity. Malleus is the most frequent malformed ossicle. So if there's any deformity in the three bones in the ear, that is we call it as the ossicles. Okay, it consists of the stapes, the malleus, and the incus. So if there's any deformity or they are not fully developed, then this is called ossicular deformity. And which of the three bones is mostly affected? It is the malleus. Next, coming to the type, mandibulofacial dystosis. Okay, so this is also called as the Treacher-Collins syndrome. Okay, Treacher-Collins syndrome. It is the hypoplasia of the middle third of the face, and there is hypoplasia of mandible and underdevelopment of the ear. So what happens is the cells are not fully developed. Okay, the mandible is not fully developed. The middle third of the face is also not fully developed, and there is underdevelopment of the ear. So this is called mandibulofacial dystosis. So you can see here the patient is having downward slanting of eyes. Why? Because of the hypoplasia of the middle third of the face, small jaw and thin, and the chin is very small because of the hypoplasia of mandible, and there is altered development of facial bones and tissue. So this is the sign and symptoms of Treacher-Collins syndrome, or we call it as mandibulofacial dystosis. So those were the types of ear deformities. Now coming to the sign and symptoms of the clinical manifestation. Congenital ear deformity are usually visibly noticeable at birth. Okay, so from birth only, after the delivery of the baby, during the physical examination, the ear deformity will be visible, or it will be observed. Although milder forms may be less apparent, other less noticeable symptoms of ear deformities like frequent ear infections or facial deformities including small cheekbones and a small crooked low jaw, sometimes on only one side, or crowded or crooked teeth, abnormally shaped mouth, either wide or small. So these are some of the the less noticeable symptoms of ear deformity. Coming to the diagnostic test, many congenital ear malformations can be easily corrected if they are diagnosed very early or a very early stage. If they are noticeable and if they are detected, then the malformations can be easily corrected. That is within a few weeks of birth. So within the first week of birth, within the 7 days after birth, all these deformities should be detected. Okay, and physical examination of the baby should be properly checked. The basic or advanced hearing test to detect any hearing loss. So here audiometry test or other Riene's test, Weber's test, all these should be performed to detect any hearing loss. Diagnostic imaging like CT scan should be done to look for any related facial or jaw or any kidney deformity. Now coming to the management, ear molding for newborns with protruding. Okay, so with protruding ears. So for babies born with bat ears, or their ears are protruded outside. So in such cases, ear molding will be the surgical management. Next, surgery will be done only once the baby has reached the age of 6. Okay, so after 6 years. After the age of 6 years, then surgery can be performed. But before that, no surgery should be performed on the child. Then plastic surgery can also be done. Okay, hearing aids or cochlear implants. These are surgically implanted hearing devices to improve hearing. So these hearing aids or cochlear implants also can be one of the management for improving the hearing function. And last is speech therapy also should be advised to the children. So that we have come to the end of the topic for today. So I hope this is clear about external ear deformity. Okay, so there are many types of ear deformity. Let's not confuse with each type. Okay, and the main reason here is because of genetic, any errors in the genes. So thank you, class. We have come to the end of the topic here.